Now, for many women, leadership did not begin in the boardroom, it began at home. Legacy coach, author, and broadcaster, Khanyisa M is leading a national conversation around what has become widely recognized as Firstborn Daughter Syndrome, a social pattern where eldest daughters are expected to carry emotional, financial, and caregiving responsibility from a very young age, backed by data showing that women in sub-Saharan Africa perform more than 3/4 of unpaid care work. Khanyisa's work gives language to an experience many women recognize but rarely name. Her national engagement campaign will culminate in the Firstborn Daughters Convention on the 14th of March 2026 alongside the release of her forthcoming book, Are We There Yet? Khanyisa, welcome to The Upside. How are you doing?
Thank you for having me, Say. I'm great. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I tell you what, this is a very interesting one because a lot of people, and as I mentioned in my intro, a lot of people have experienced firstborn syndrome, but they hardly put a title to it. You decided to address it head on.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the realities of firstborn syndrome and what impact that can have on a human being.
Sure. Thank you for having me, man. And thank you for helping me eliminate this because it's been a cry. It's not even on the continental level. It's a global cry.
Yeah.
You go anywhere in any country, first daughters are carrying a weight that they never asked for. They carry a legacy of something they don't even know how to name themselves, like you said. I mean, the Firstborn Daughter Syndrome is something that's new right now, and it's not even a diagnosis, really.
Yeah.
It's a pattern, a generational pattern, where people grow up and put that weight on a first daughter to say, she's going to be the strong one, she's going to be the pillar, she's going to be the stabilizer of the family. Because she's a female, she then becomes the second mother of the household. And look, it is not intentional. I don't think there's any household that just woke up and said, we are going to overburden our child.
Yeah.
It sort of happens systematically. Where most times you find that the mother has a child when she's not even ready to have a child. Okay, and then while she is going through her own motions of trying to figure out even postpartum depression and so on, the firstborn daughter is the one that kind of figures out the household stuff. But also we've got something called patriarchy that's been here for a while, right? That sort of takes down the responsibility of the firstborn son and gives it to the daughter. You'll be surprised that even daughters that have brothers will then say, I have a brother, but it's almost as if my brother can and is allowed to mess up, right? And there are words like boys will be boys. And for us, firstborn daughters, that's not a thing. You are not allowed to mess up. You must perform. You must be perfect. You must figure things out from an early age. And you always need to know, without a blueprint, how to sort things out. And so we grow with that thing into our adulthood. It's plaguing our relationships.
Yeah.
It's plaguing our workplaces. People call overfunctioning. There are women that are high achieving in boardrooms and corporates that are firstborn daughters that are really just burned out. And one of my core things about the tour is to also make people understand that when you talk about burnout from a wellness level, you are really finessing the system with symptoms. Go deeper inside of what a woman over and above her executive leadership and an end, what is she really dealing with? The firstborn daughter is dealing with emotional labor and many other responsibilities that come with her being the first in her family, right? And then because we're overachievers, remember that the childhood script has taught us that if we don't perform, we're not enough. Okay, if we don't achieve, we need to prove all the time that we can do this, we are worthy. And so we end up being the executives, we end up being leaders. You go to any corporate, they'll show you firstborn daughters in there, right? And so when you look at and that's why I say it's a national, international plague. Our boardrooms are full of women that are overfunctioning, that are burned out. And it's not just from a work level.
Yeah.
Relationships. Apparently, we have the highest rate of divorces. And it's not even apparent. Even in our research and the work we do with firstborn daughters, our spreadsheets show us that the women that come to us are mostly single, and not that they have not tried relationships. They're mostly single and mostly divorced and separated. And the married ones have paragraphs on paragraphs of what sounds like is a waiting of a divorce. And that's not what we want to see, right? And the basis of our work is the people that get divorced, the people that stay in marriages must understand themselves fully to understand where we don't want to solve symptoms. We want to solve the core of where this comes from, right? And that's why I'm a legacy coach. Right. Yeah.
I tell you what, I love your passion, Khanyisa, and I want us to delve deep into this. We're going to go into sports now and get some business news. But after that, I want us to delve deep into this and unpack, because you rightfully said we shouldn't be dealing with the symptoms. We should go to the root of this issue. And oftentimes it does involve the elders in our families having conversations with our parents. That goes a very long way, because that can also affect how we interact with the other human beings and relationship as well. So I'm going to play a quick game with you. It's called a game of chance. I want to see if the odds are in your favor. Khanyisa M. All right.
Let's go.
We're going to play 3 rounds. Here's round number 1. And all you need to do is tell me if you think the card I'm about to give you is black or red. Easy enough?
Black should do.
Is it? Well, you've already decided.
I've already decided. I'm a firstborn daughter.
I love it.
I'm that fast.
I love it. Show them the black. Round number 1. Khanyisa, are the odds in your favor? Show them the black.
Black.
It's a black.
It's a black.
The odds are so far in your favor. 30 minutes after 1 p.m. Central African time, we'll continue our conversation with Khanyisa M about the First Daughter Syndrome. Let's get the latest sports. No doubt the Proteas are about to go to the semi-finals. West Indies, what happened?
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Let's kick off with football news this hour. Rwanda President Paul Kagame has praised FIFA's efforts towards infrastructure development, saying the results are under President Gianni Infantino speak for themselves. He made the comments while commenting on the FIFA Forward program, a development initiative launched in 2016 by the football governing body, aiming to provide comprehensive funding, infrastructure and technical support to 211 member associations and 6 confederations. FIFA Forward aims to foster global football growth by investing over $5 billion building pitches and supporting national team travel. The program aims to increase investment, provide tailor-made support for local needs, and improve international competitiveness for all member associations. President Kagame said that in Rwanda, the program had helped to build an accommodation facility for the National Football Federation. More football. Cote d'Ivoire will play 2 international friendlies against Benin and Kenya as part of the final preparations for the 2026 Total Energies CAF Women's Africa Cup of Nations, WAFCON, which is scheduled to take place in Morocco from the 17th of March to the 3rd of April. The Ivorian women's national team started training camp in Abidjan before facing Benin on the 28th of February and Kenya on the 4th of March. The 2 games are expected to provide head coach Reynald Pedros and his technical staff with a crucial opportunity to assess squad fitness, test technical combinations, and finalize selection decisions ahead of the continental tournament. Now, rugby news. Sharks winger Edwin van der Merwe has designed on silencing the Loftus Versfeld faithful when his side takes on the Bulls in round 12 of the United Rugby Championship, URC, on Saturday. The Sharks are hoping to shake off a loss of Lions last weekend and resume the turnaround of the Durban franchise under new head coach J.P. Peterson. Sharks winger van der Merwe believes the Bulls' home ground advantage means the Sharks need to be at their best.
We know the Bulls are an incredible side at home. They'll have their fans behind them. So we expect a very physical challenge from them and for them to be fired up. So we have to be at the absolute best on Saturday and deliver.
Van der Merwe is also staying calm and trusting the process at the Sharks because the Lions lost. The Sharks had beaten the Stormers at home and away.
My focus is to outshine them. All I need to focus on is what the team requires of me and for me to express myself within the framework of the team, and I think the rest will take care of itself.
Now, tennis news. Top seed Felix Auger-Aliassime battled back from 4-1 down in the opening set to defeat Francis Giovanni Mpenji Pericard 6-4, 6-4 at the Dubai Tennis Championship yesterday. The Canadian reeled off 5 straight games to seize control before closing out a composed straight sets victory. Auger-Aliassime now advances to face Jiří Lihenčka for a place in the semi-finals. For any sports stories you'd like to share with us, please do send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +2711 714 4459. This is Channel Africa Sport with me, Fide Lingwati.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Este é o Caleidoscópio de Canal África, com Remo Samo e João Yabalá.
Moçambique prepara-se para a chegada do ciclone tropical Gezane, prevista para esta sexta-feira, com impacto esperado nas províncias de Sofala, Inhambane e Gaza. O fenómeno, que já causou mais de 30 mortes de destruição significativa em Madagascar, poderá atingir o litoral moçambicano, com ventos de 140 km por hora e chuvas intensas, afetando cerca de 1,1 milhão de pessoas. A aproximação do ciclone surge numa altura em que o país ainda recupera das cheias de janeiro, que provocaram dezenas de mortos e afetaram mais de 700 mil pessoas. Para fazer o ponto de situação, ouvimos Rita Almeida, diretora de Planificação e Cooperação do Instituto Nacional de Gestão e Redução de Riscos de Desastres.
As famílias devem reforçar o teto das casas, as portas e as janelas. Devem evitar fazer-se tanto à rua, devem prestar atenção sobre as orientações em relação a centros de acomodação temporário, devem preparar um kit mínimo básico com fósforos, produtos alimentares, medicamentos.
De segunda a sexta-feira, das 20 às 21 horas locais, este é o Caleidoscópio de Canal África.
We are on Open Views Audio Bouquet. Channel 628.
35 minutes after 1 p.m. Central African time. Let's get the latest in business news.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Good afternoon. I am Nosipho Zuma. In your business news, the SAWA, Angola State Oil Company, Sonangol, says it is taking to Chinese financial institutions to secure a $4.8 billion loan to partly finance the construction of a new refinery in the Atlantic seaport of Lobito. The financing, if completed, will mark the first borrowing by the Southern African oil producer from China since 2017, when it opted to reduce its exposure to resource-backed loans. Sonangol's CEO Sebastio Gaspar Martins says the company says it is engaging with financial institutions in China to secure funding for one phase of the $6.2 billion required. China's lithium price surged today after Zimbabwe suspended all raw mineral exports, stoking fears of supply disruptions at a time when rising energy storage demand has already been driving a rally in the market. The most traded lithium carbonate contract on the Guangzhou Futures Exchange climbed 6.07% to $26,043 a ton after earlier spiking more than 9%. Harare announced yesterday an immediate halt to exports of raw minerals and lithium concentrates. South African Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana says the government will prioritize resolving the SABC's financial and infrastructure crisis this year. He confirmed that his office will first settle the broadcaster's $62 million debt to Centec and prevent post office liquidation before upgrading SABC's failing infrastructure. The Department of Communications earlier welcomed a $44 million allocation, a portion of which must go toward settling debts. Minister has reiterated government's commitment to making infrastructure investment the bedrock of the country's growing economy. Godongwane acknowledged the dire state of the SABC's facilities.
What I'm doing at the moment is to attend to two issues which are urgent. One is avoid the liquidation of the post office. Secondly is to try to settle the Centec, SABC debt with Centec. The next phase during the course of the year is to attend to the SABC infrastructure, which has to be attended. I made that point during the budget speech that we will attend to this matter during the course of the year.
Meanwhile, Head of Communications at South Africa's Department of Defence, Siphiwe Dlamini, says more funding is needed to ensure that all members of the South African Defence Force are able to carry out their operations. Says Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana has allocated an additional almost $170 million to the department's budget for the 2026-2027 financial year. Dlamini explains.
We are happy to receive the little that National Treasury has given us, and we are also happy to note the Treasury's efforts to provide additional funding. However, we still believe that more could have been done. Remember, we are the custodian of the territorial integrity of the Republic of South Africa, and therefore a lot of effort is going to go into that area. But without funding that we need, it's going to be very difficult.
And finally, Dubai Aerospace Enterprise, DAE, says it has agreed to acquire aircraft leasing firm Macquarie Air Finance at an enterprise value of about $7 billion. DAE says the deal will create a combined fleet of 1,029 owned, managed and committed aircraft serving 191 airline customers across 79 countries, with narrow-body jets making up roughly 70% of the portfolio. The acquisition will add 37 new airline customers to DAE's roster, including carriers in 7 countries where the Dubai state-owned lessor currently has no presence. Your financial indicators: one US dollar in Nigeria is trading at 1,000 naira 351. In Botswana is 13 pula 03. Kenya, the dollar is trading at 128 shilling 07. And in Zambia, it's 18 kwacha 81. The BRICS countries: $1 in Brazil is trading at 5 real 14. Russia is 76 rubles 73. India, it's 90 rupees 91. China, it's 6 yuan 87. And in South Africa, $1 is trading at 15 rand 89. $1 is trading at 73 pence to the British pound and 84 to the euro. Looking at commodities, gold is trading at $5,179 and platinum at $2,286 per ounce, while the price of Brent crude oil is at $70.99 a barrel. Now, for any stories you would like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +27 11 714 4459. For Channel Africa Business, I'm Nosipho Zuma.
Business News on Channel Africa. The African Perspective. Are you fluent in French, Chinyanja, Portuguese, and Kiswahili? Are you passionate about radio? And are you looking to work in South Africa? Do you have papers that qualify you to work in South Africa? In that case, we might have an opportunity for you to work for Channel Africa. Send us your CV and demo at newsroom@channelafrica.co.za. Remember, if you don't hear from us within 14 days, it means you have not made it or you have not been selected. Channel Africa, the African Perspective. Stay tuned to Channel Africa. Stream us on our new and updated website, channelafrica.co.za.
42 minutes after 1 p.m. Central African Time. Still in conversation with Khanyisa M. She's a legacy coach. She's a broadcaster. And she's got a convention coming up soon. It's called the Firstborn Daughter Syndrome Convention. In between, while we were listening to business and sport, we were having our own conversation. I wanted to find out, what is a legacy coach? For our lovely listener listening right now, wondering, what is this legacy coaching? What do you do?
So normally a coach, you would find that it's a career coach, relationship coach, life coach, right? So my work is to help you understand that what you are trying to resolve in your life, in your now, right,
Yeah.
didn't start with you. So the inherited language that didn't start with you. So if you're trying to resolve a life issue, we're going to, as a legacy coach, I help you to look at where it came from your the people that came before you, from your mother, your father, inherited language, the ways of being, and so on, and also how that is going to affect the next generation. If you are saying you want to heal this particular part of your life, where did it start? Who are you really? Right? What was passed down to you that you are now living out to live to the next generation? And what is that going to look like in the next generation? So that's what I do. So we do things like bloodline assessments. We assess your lineage, your tree, your family tree, to understand, as a man in your 40s and your 30s, who was your father? Right? And what language, what ways of being did you inherit from your father? Whether it's by observing, by knowing. And so that's what a legacy coach does.
I'm inspired to learn more about this legacy coaching thing, because I think oftentimes we just deal based on the symptoms. We deal with it and respond to that, not realizing that some of the things that we carry come from a very long line before us, and we need to study that. The first daughter syndrome.
Yeah.
We mentioned earlier that it starts from a very young age. What are those, let's call them symptoms for now, that the first daughters are living through, but they don't really know how to define that, okay, this is actually a symptom of being a first daughter, and this is the syndrome, and these are the pressures that I'm actually dealing with. Maybe they have not been able to sit down and list and say, this is actually the pressures that I'm dealing with. What are they?
So there are a lot of pressures, and in their adulthood, because they learn this from childhood, right? In their adulthood, firstborn daughters are not able to ask for help. They are overfunctioning. And overfunctioning means not being able to put boundaries across families, friendships, relationships. They show up as the strong people who never say, I'm tired, who never rest without guilt, right? Firstborn daughters are people who are fixing things. They're fixing in relationships, they're fixing at work, they're always trying to fix things. And so I think the biggest symptom you will find is the exhaustion. Every firstborn daughter you will meet will tell you that they're exhausted from family responsibilities, and those responsibilities, by the way, are sort of carved from a young age, not negotiated or thought through, and now in their adulthood are trying to create systems and ways of being that don't allow them to healthily exist. Whether in a relationship, a friendship, in the workplace, they are always the ones that people run to. They're always the ones that people want to know how they can help, and they never say, how can I get helped? Am I okay? Right? And so those are, if you're a firstborn daughter, you know that these are the things that you struggle with. We don't even know how to ask for men for money.
Really?
Oh, yes.
So you'd rather struggle through it than to ask?
Or be the ones that give men money. We're notorious for that. Yes.
Speaking of money, how does this then affect your relationship with money? Are you then the one who's always giving and then you hardly take care of yourself? How does this affect you financially?
So I call this the economics of belonging in my book, right? We use money as a survival tool that we use to control things.
Wow.
Because we're quite controlling. And the controlling that our siblings talk about when they say firstborn daughters are controlling is our survival tactic. Like the lie of control taught us at a young age that for me to be safe in this environment that's volatile, I need to control situations. For my ego to be input, I need to buy people things, do things, and I will never be accepted if I don't do that. So you are finding firstborn daughters taking out loans, heavily burdened with all kinds of things that have nothing to do with them. And that's why at the convention, one of the things we're dealing with is the finances of a firstborn daughter. It's the estate planning of a firstborn daughter. Because one of the things that happen as a firstborn daughter is that I take care of my siblings. Even in my adulthood, you will find that if you go through my bank statement, you are going to find money that's being sent somewhere. Right? Either it's been sent to an emergency to someone that have nothing to do with me, or I've got a investment property where my sibling lives in. And so it's not making me money because somebody else lives there, right? And I asked sometime, Jorge, as firstborn daughters, do we know if we can afford to die interstate? And interstate means that we can afford to die without wills, right? We can't. Even our pensions, right? The Section 37 Pension Act says that people can prove dependability on us. And so I could die today and my children could never get my pension as a firstborn daughter because my younger sister can prove dependability that I was sending her e-wallets and therefore the pension must also come to her.
Wow.
Right? And so there are many dynamics that go into just being a firstborn. So it's beyond just the healing, right? It's the being, because we can gather in a room, cry and heal, and then when we are done crying, we still go back home and our pension is gone. Right?
I've got another question for you, but
Sure.
I'm going to reserve it. We're going to take a quick break. Just pay some bills, and we're going to come back. But before we do that, let me go into round number 2.
Am I winning again?
Of a game of chance.
Okay.
Well, you're 1 for 1 at the moment. Let's see if you can go 2 for 2. Khanyisa M, are the odds in your favor?
I'm a firstborn daughter.
Black or red? What are you feeling?
Black again.
Black again. Show them that black. Show them the black.
Oh no! It's red this time. Ugh, man.
Listen, you still have another round.
Okay.
You can still get 2 out of 3, which
Okay.
means the odds will be in your favor.
I'm an overachiever. We'll get it.
I love it. Let's take a quick breather. When we get back, we continue our conversation with Khanyisa M.
Africa is changing and the world is paying attention. This March, Channel Africa invites you to be part of a new conversation. Africa Matters, a platform where experts, policymakers, and thought leaders come together to unpack the big issues of our time: technology, politics, economics, climate change, and the future of our people. This is where ideas meet action, where change becomes opportunity, where Africa's voice takes its rightful place on the global stage. In March 2026, Channel Africa hosts Africa Climate Change Recovery Summit. Join the dialogue. Be part of the movement. Channel Africa, the African perspective. The Upside with Tebogo Kuleni and Matseko Musito, bringing Africa's voices to the world. On Channel Africa, the African perspective.
10 minutes before 2 p.m. Central African time, still in conversation with legacy coach and broadcaster, entrepreneur, Khanyisa M. She's here to talk to us about her First Daughter Convention that will be coming up very soon, addressing first daughter syndromes that many people are experiencing but have not been able to define and label and address. We spoke earlier about finances, how first daughters will likely deal with financial issues, what symptoms they need to look out for. What happens then when a firstborn daughter links up with the firstborn male boy, son? How do they come together?
Yeah.
And does it create conflict more than it does collaboration? In your experiences and from the data you have gathered, is this a good combination, or firstborn daughters need to be with the middle child? How does it work?
So apparently the best combination is the firstborn son and the firstborn daughter.
Really?
In this way, when they understand their purpose, and when the firstborn son understands the dynamics of a firstborn daughter, because otherwise it can create a friction of 2 bulls in the same household, right? And so we always say that the firstborn son must actually be a firstborn son Pro Max.
Firstborn son Pro Max.
There really must be a man who has healed in their masculinity, who has dealt with their own childhood traumas, their own mother wounds, because you are dealing with 2 people who have actually had similar life experiences and childhood experiences in different kinds of ways, right? They're a powerful combination only if the man understands that I am a co-author here with a firstborn daughter. The worst combination is a firstborn daughter and a lastborn son. And that is apparently the most probable combination.
Okay.
Because the firstborn daughter grows up taking care of people and she's in her mothering energy, she's going to attract someone who needs the mothering, and that's the lastborn son, right? And it looks like harmony in the beginning. And as it goes, when two adults must now show up adequately in a partnership, right, you now start to have a situation where the man feels like he's married to a warden, a prison warden, and the woman feels like she's married to someone who's just going with the air and going with the flow and a passenger, really. And so the cry of firstborn daughters that are married to lastborn sons is exactly that I feel like this person doesn't know how to carry me, and the masculine energy is not coming up enough. But what they also don't acknowledge is that they chose them because they were in their mothering element, and that's what they know how to do. And one of the things we are now reconfiguring is just allowing the firstborn daughter to know how to be soft and operate in their feminine energy. Because you're married, right?
Yeah,
we're not trying to get people to divorce. We're trying to say, look, restructure, gather the pattern of why you are here and how you got here, and who you are with and why they are with you. And then the two of you then say, okay, I'm no longer your mother. Please go sort out whatever you were needing from your mother when you married me. And then I say, you're not my child. And I know that I've been solving my father's problems, my mother's problems. I am resigning from doing that, and I'm going to learn anew how to be a wife that can be led. It's a difficult task, but that's what we are intending to do.
I think you hit it on the head, spot on there, in saying that it's very important for both parties to know who they are. So that when they come into the relationship, it doesn't feel as if they are butting heads the whole time. This convention, who's going to be there? Who are the speakers? No doubt you. You're going to be a speaker.
I will absolutely
Are you the main
be there.
speaker, of course? Who else will be there? And give us the details on how people can get involved.
Okay, so I'll definitely be there as the convener and as the host. We will be having therapists. We'll be having financial literacy people. We'll be having facilitators who are marriage counselors and so on. And not only will it be just the panels it will also be really work where people are sitting down and we are doing real exercises from our bodies to our minds. And then we'll have conversations with the panelists who are experts around our money, around our relationships. We'll be having brand activations outside and people that are helping us to rest, to reset, and to rise, because that's what we need to do.
Oh, I love it. And you also have a book that's coming
Yes.
out. Are we there yet? What's the
Yes.
book about?
So that book is a guide for firstborn daughters to realize their patterns, get new wisdom, and write a new script. Because I realized that I can come here and tell firstborn daughters what's wrong with them. And one firstborn daughter can sit somewhere in a corner and think that they are the problem. And so I put together life stories and life lessons of other firstborn daughters across the continent and across the world, right? For you to look at that book and make it a mirror and say, oh, I didn't know that Khanyisa from Limpopo, raised by a present father, could still go through something like this. So this thing is not just me, right? That's when you realize the pattern. You realize that this thing has always been a system, right? It's not just a you thing, right? And then you gather the wisdom that we will be in the room with experts about, and then you go and start to write a new script. And that script is about your life, your personhood, your marriage, your work, and how you go through your career from here on. Stop overfunctioning, stop performing, and all of those things. So that's what the book is about, and that's what I hope the book does for firstborn daughters.
Where can we find it?
So we're going to launch at the Firstborn Daughters Convention,
Okay.
and we're doing an incredible thing. I want the women that were there with us in the 2025 retreats that we worked with are going to be in the book.
Oh, wow.
And so I want to give them the honor of the book before it goes out into the world.
Oh, it's amazing, man. I love that. And then you also have a podcast on YouTube. Tell us very briefly about this podcast.
So the Legacy Collective with Khanyisa is my podcast on YouTube, and that is a beautiful platform. It's a platform where I convene wisdom for people that are trying to build their legacy, who understand that there's a personal, professional, social, and relational legacy, and they all need to speak one language, right?
Yeah.
And so that's just the platform where if you want to heal, if you want to think about what has happened to you, what you're doing right now, and what's going to happen in the next life when you're not here, you need to sit on that platform. It's a beautiful platform. Even if I have to say so myself.
You know what? It's sort of like my parting question.
Right.
Will men be allowed to come to this convention?
Not yet. So not
this
for the
one.
convention,
Okay.
but throughout the year to have smaller groups of retreats. Husbands of firstborn daughters must learn how to handle us.
Absolutely.
Mothers of firstborn daughters must
Absolutely.
learn how to mend relationships with them. Fathers, if you will. So we're going to have other people come on board. Once we have mastered ourselves, then we can allow you guys to come in because we know what's happening, and allow you guys to love us better, to relate with us better, to work with us better.
Very beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful work that you're doing.
Thank
Khanyisa, final round of a game of chance. Let's see if the odds are in your favor.
I'm winning this time.
Black or red? What do you think?
Black.
Black?
Yeah.
You are confident?
I really love black.
Yeah, go for the black. Show us the black. Yeah.
I'm the firstborn daughter. Of course I was going to win.
You definitely won. You won many hearts all over Africa listening to this broadcast, watching it on social media. Thank you so much for your time. Incredible work that you're doing. And just a reminder again of where people can follow you on social media just to keep up with all the amazing work that you're doing.
TikTok and Instagram, Legacy Collective Khanyisa. So at Legacy Collective Khanyisa. That's where you'll find me. YouTube, The Legacy Collective with Khanyisa podcast.
It's been an honor. Thank you so much.
Thank
for your
you.
time.
Thank you for having me.
Legacy coach, author, and broadcaster Khanyisa M. Please follow her on social media and be involved at the First Daughter Convention. Did you give us the date and the place again?
14 March 2026 at Edenvale, the Fortress venue. Tickets are on Quicket. You can get your ticket there.
Lovely.